All right, it's what's it? It's Tuesday. I go back to work next week. I'm still not at work this week, so I'm not very good at knowing what day it is. Will I be better at knowing what day it is next week? Who knows? Hey, Megaleech. Hey, Justin. By the way, I'm probably just gonna start like I normally do with making a cocktail. Just, for something to do. Which one was I going to make? Guards. Just, okay. I'll make this video guards. It's like a sweet martini. I mean, honestly, that sounds good, I think. A sweet martini. Gonna make that. Hey, Strictly Sega, how are you doing? I just make it. I'm so far ahead with these cocktails. Like, I've got videos scheduled to the end of the month, like literally to the 31st. Video going every second day. So I could even space them out further because, I don't know, January is traditionally low views, and I had a really good December, twice as good as previous month. So probably maybe I should space them out even further, but we'll, wait and see. I'm already past the first week, and I haven't made a decision yet. Time will be up. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. A lot of people doing dry January after the Christmas excess. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, but I'm going to make guards. I just picture the bad guy in movies going, guards! There wasn't an exclamation mark at the end of the cocktail name, but I think there should be. All right, I'll just get set. Oop. No, I'll do a little bit of tangling here. Getting that chair out of the way for a start. Move this power cord over here. Get this power cord, which is tangled around the legs of the tripod. There. No, it's got dust all over it. Okay. Just gotta untangle this sucker. Whee! Alright. That feels better. And I will instantly retangle this fucking thing. But you gotta start somewhere. Hey Rays, how's it going? That would actually, AIDzee would be the patron saint of being off your chops. Hey, Rina. Oh, yes. I just realized while I'm doing that, this is almost unique to my shirts in that if there's something on the back, it's usually what's on the front. But this again, and it's got the cat on the back. So you kind of get to see that because I'm fiddling around here. All right. Okay. The bits for the GoPro, where are they? I saw them earlier. What did I do with them? And what's this stopper doing here? Honestly, what am I like? Here it is. Your house is MCM themed. Nice. You've been working so hard, Rose. Honestly. Dude, my excuse is I'm old, fat, and lazy, but I could not possibly survive the work you're doing. But I'll be honest, even when I was young, I would have avoided it. Because I'm a lazy fucker. Right, so that. We're going to put the stirring glass because we're going to stir this cocktail. Right. Dry gin. Remove that. Now it's hit. Oh man, I've got to get fucking orange bitters. I go through so much orange bitters. Which one's this one? Spiced cranberry bitters. Fuck it, I'm doing that. I'm out of control. No one can stop me. Oh wait, no, I think I do have some citrus bitters. Where's my citrus bitters? Yeah, okay. There's a little bit left in this thing of citrus bitters. Wait, can I even get some out? Oh, there's a little bit left in this bottle. I'll do that. Both be orange bitters, so I'll use this teeny bit of citrus bitters that I have. Right, I'm going to want this camera around here, not either there. Oh yeah, man, you're doing what you got to do. Yes. No, and man, and you've got the power to do it, so do it. There's, what's his name? Well, let's do it. Okay, so that and that. Where did I put my phone? Bring it around here. Right, see the recipe. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I can't be bothered fucking around. I'm gonna do. Just gonna do 2 ounces because I can't be bothered fucking around. Is there crap in the bottom there? I'm just starting to erode. I don't know. All right, gin. Get that ready. Okay. 3/4. No, just going to pour 3/4 in this now. All right. All right. That was him, Shia LaBeouf. Thank you. Oh, and Rena. Actually, how do you pronounce your name, Rena or Rena? If you hang around, I might make a spicy Rena. The revised version we were talking about when the memory came up with it. Right, so this is just going to be a short video. We'll start the camera. Smart for the camera. And a dash of the citrus bitters. Okay. Dunzo. Okay. Und now we add the ice. With my little thermos. Alright, let's do this. Taste that. That tastes pretty good. I'll actually serve this in a martini glass. What the hell? It's probably going to look very small because this is a very large glass. But let's go. Probably should have served that in a smaller glass. Looks like I'm being very mean to myself with that serving. Raina. Thank you, Raina. All right. Take a quick picture of this for publicity purposes. That doesn't look so bad. All right, now I'll do the talky bit. It'll only take a couple of minutes because it's got to fit into less than 60 seconds on YouTube. Okay, now move our light over here. Bounce it off the so the light is nice and soft and not too harsh. Conceal my blemishes a little. Let's go here. Oh. I think that's about right. That's ready. That's ready. A little bit more there. G'day, cocktail lovers. This is essentially a sweet martini. It's a recipe that goes back 100 years, maybe more. It's simply called God. I always picture the bad guy in a sci-fi movie doing that. Gods! But how does it taste? Oh, it tastes really good. Here's how we make it. In a mixing glass, we put 2 ounces or 60 mils of dry gin. Add to that 3/4 of an ounce, around 22.5 mils of sweet vermouth. And then just around a bar spoon, 5 mils of an orange liqueur, and round things out with a dash of orange bitters. Add ice to the glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink. And then strain that into a nice chilled martini glass. Just like I thought it would be. It's a fruity, sweet martini variation. You should try it. Gods! All right, it's me being a gosh darned idiot. Okay, easy peasy. And now I'm sitting down with my cocktail, switching a bunch of stuff off. Probably not gonna make another video tonight, but who knows? Really only wanted to do that one to warm up. You know, have a few folks in here chatting and warm. Just make drinks without making videos from now on. Now, Raina, I have to re-look up what I said the recipe was for a spicy Raina. Because it was an invention of mine. Let's see. Search. Spicy Raina. Yes, okay, that actually came up straight away. So, back in my foolish youth of 4 years ago, where I was using vodka in cocktails, but this should be Blanco tequila, which suits Raina's part of the world. in the California, if I remember rightly. So it's going to be Blanco tequila. Actually, some coconut rum I made. I'm going to use orange liqueur. I've got my own homemade orange liqueur I'm going to use, Ancho Rare's chili liqueur, and sugar syrup. Maybe I should be a Puritan and go and get my agave spirit. I maybe should. So, Ray's, you had a fire drill. You're a level above where the alarm is. Oh, no. Dang. Yeah, well, for a construction site, they'd have to be just to be heard of. You know what? I'm even going to reuse this glass, Raina. It's going to be in a martini. I think when I originally made it, I had it on ice. So actually, that should be stirred. I probably shook it. Unless I should add some lime juice. Maybe I should. I think I should add a little bit of lime juice. Raina, how are you feeling about the idea of adding a little bit of lime juice to it? Is that something you like in cocktails? It'd be a little bit more like a margarita then. To make matters worse, it's positioned directly the stairwell off next year. No, damn. That's actually probably done some temporary damage. Hey, Greg, how's it doing? Yeah, I think with a little bit of lime juice, it'd be a bit more like a margarita. Just looking at those ingredients, and it's going like, yeah, I feel like it needs to be a sour rather than purely boozy. Mind you, I actually, you were saying do both side by side. I think I'll do that. I'll shake it up. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm going to do it with and without lime juice, actually. All right, I think that's the go, just for pure experience. That's, I mean, again, I completely, as soon as you said it was an absurdly loud alarm, I thought, well, of course it is. Got this new El Cheapo peeler from the supermarket, and I'm trying it out. Seems pretty sharp, but I would also be willing to bet that it fucks up really quickly because it was ridiculously cheap. Ooh, that was a lot of citrus in there. I should have saved that for the spicy rain, actually. Oh, you're saying pomegranate juice. In case you didn't know, if you ever see a recipe calling for grenadine, proper grenadine is a syrup made from pomegranate juice. So it's basically pomegranate juice and sugar. Put that in there. All right. All right, but that's my next plan. I'm going to do an experimental spicy rainer. Mm. Actually, that little bit of orange brightened this one up. I liked it, but it's actually better with the orange peel. Very much brightened it up. Nice. Okay. Justin, you remember watching a doco about Boeing? They opened a factory in South Carolina to get around unions. The chance the Max jets were made there. Yeah. Getting around unions is so often a very bad idea because it's like have less controls, make things substandard. Hey, the only D7 on Twitch. How you doing? I always feel compelled to explain to people who stumble across me on Twitch because they're often the only one there. I use a service called StreamYard to restream to multiple platforms. Most people watch me on YouTube. Some people watch me on Facebook, and some people watch me on Twitch because it all happens at the same time. But that's also why I tend to put the comments up on screen. So it's like, Raina is there on Facebook. Justin's there on YouTube. So just try to keep everyone in the loop. At one day, hopefully StreamYard will do a thing where it's built in and like the combined comments can actually be put on screen there. So everyone can see them. That would be good. Only D7. We're currently talking about cocktails because we are doing this from the bar, and I just made a cocktail for my YouTube cocktail channel, Angry Cocktails, if you're interested. But we talk about anything. Like Justin's brought up safety about max jets. Yep. Yeah, the whole thing about, unions get in the way. Yeah, they tend to care about things like safety over things like profit. When does that ever go wrong? When profit's put ahead of safety? So I'm going to make a spicy rain. I'm okay. I'm going to keep with the spirit. The agave spirit is in the kitchen because it's actually intended as a sugar substitute for cooking. But I got it because a lot of tequila cocktails say use agave syrup because tequila is from the agave as well. But yeah, only D7, pretty wide open for conversational topics. We tend to talk about anything and everything. All right. So yeah, okay. I'm going to make spicy Reina, and I'm going to stir it, and then pour half of it out into a boozy drink. Maybe I'll make two of them. I don't freaking know. So, when you're talking about that jet, did a jet blow up or crash recently? Because I feel like I missed that. Let me see if I can find. What are we saying? Max jet safety. Suffered an in-flight blowout. Alaska Airlines plane on Friday. Scrutiny of the aircraft involved, Boeing 737 MAX 9. Other safety issues have been linked to the MAX line of aircrafts. What's the safety history? Troubled history. 2 fatal crashes of the MAX 8 within 5 months of each other. One in Indonesia, the Lion Air. Second, when Ethiopian Airlines 737 crashed minutes after takeoff. A door plug flew off during the flight. Was in use because Alaska Airlines jet was configured to hold fewer than the maximum passengers. Airlines reconfigured jets frequently use panels that cover unneeded exit doors, essentially turning unused exit door into a window. Okay, so there was a door they weren't going to use, so it was called a door plug, and it blew out. No one was seriously injured, but the loss of cabin pressure caused oxygen masks to drop. 2 seats next to the part that blew out tore off, but no one was sitting in them. It was found near Portland in the backyard of a school teacher. Dang. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. Nice. Tequila shot for St AIDzee's Day. Okay, well, I finished that first one, so I just need to duck out for a few seconds and get my agave nectar. And then I'm going to experiment. I'm going to make 2 half-size ones, I think, rather than do 2 full-size ones. I'm pacing myself. It's only a Tuesday night. Yeah, right. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I'll move this over here. So it's boot off the way. Don't want that. Do want that. Want that and that. That's my coconut rum. I want that. Putting this back. Getting the Blanco tequila out. And where is the spicy liqueur? Got to find it in the mysterious cupboard of mystery. I'm sure I still have some of it. I don't think I finished it. Okay, just have to look at each bottle methodically. And maraschino, amaro, lime, lemon, pineapple. This is going to backfire me. I'm sure I didn't finish the chili liqueur. Cinnamon. Velvet. Dory. Rock. Okay, unless it's actually down here, which would be slightly surprising. Let's have a look. Is it down here? What the actual fuck? I didn't think I'd finished it. I don't know where it is. Vanilla. Rum. Well, fucking fancy this. You know what? I'll do a cinnamon liqueur instead. Do have a cinnamon liqueur. I'm freaking sure I had some chili liqueur. I cannot find it though. Well, that's a turn up for the drink. I could put Fireball in there. That's disgusting. Actually, maybe I should. This little bit of Fireball. Okay, I'm putting Fireball in. Alright, we're improvising. Raze, I bet you're going to sleep like a baby. That's what that sort of work will do for you. Alright, so. Half a shot, quarter. Alright. Okay, so making half-sized ones. I should have got a bit of fucking ice for my glass. You know what? Okay. Just going to do this and use this ice. Alright, we're going to get there. We are going to get there. And okay. Let's do this. Do the syrup so it washes out. Quarter. Yonkers. Oh, no. Oh, that's not what I was doing. Half an ounce of your tequila. Oh. Quarter ounce of everything else. Quarter ounce of 3%. Quarter ounce of coconut rum. Quarter ounce of Fireball. All right. Let's mix that up. That tastes zesty. Right, very quickly. Strain that into that glass of ice. Okay. Now, same thing but with lime juice. So, half an ounce of tequila. Quarter of an ounce of agave syrup. Quarter of an ounce of lime juice. Quarter of an ounce of orange liqueur. Blood orange liqueur. Quarter of an ounce coconut rum. And finally, quarter of an ounce of Fireball. Right. A little bit more hard and shake it, I think. Ooh, I wonder if it'll fit in my little pipette. This is like a half-size drink. We'll soon see. Shaking it up. All right. See how it goes. Oh, perfect. Very classy. Okay. So, 2 takes on a spicy Rainer. All right, verdict time. If I had Fireball and cream soda, a cinnamon roll. Ooh, that sounds fancy. Yeah, Fireball is a warning sign, quite honestly. Hey, Safa, by the way. Richard, happy St Adrian's Day. Cocktails on tap. Okay, so this is the spicy Rainer with oot. Lime juice. And it's really nice. Ooh, and that cinnamon comes through, much like when I did it with the chili liqueur. Right, rinse my palate a bit. And now the sour version with lime juice. And just that little bit of lime juice makes all the difference. So I'm going to go with depends what mood you're in. Actually, I'm going to put a dash of lime bitters in the one without the lime juice. If you like sours, that's good. Who specifically is St Adrian, Arthur? Good question. I don't know. Try this again. That is actually really quite nice. I'm more in the boozy drinks than the sour, so I'm probably leaning towards the one without the lime juice. But yes, a little lime juice, big effect. But if you want a bright sour drink, lime juice for sure works with it. Yeah, St Adrian, Saint of Cook Things, best escaper of Grim Reaper in history, or the boring version. Let me see if I can find the word on Adrian of Canterbury. Also spelled Hadrian. Born sometime before 637, died 710. A North African scholar in Anglo-Saxon England and the abbot of St. Peter's and St. Paul's in Canterbury. Noted teacher and commentator on the Bible. According to Bede, he was by nation an African and thus a Berber, native of North Africa. Abbot of a monastery near Naples called Montessorium Neridanum. Ooh, he was offered to be Archbishop of Canterbury twice, but didn't want it. There you go. So it's interesting. African, I wonder if he was black or if he was a colonizer. Huh. Very interesting story of so that's who St. Adrian is. Yep, I'm going to go to get some sleep, man. You worked very hard. He's Adrian of Canterbury, and I found him just by looking at what was on today. Today's the feast day of Adrian. Maybe he's not a saint, actually. I might have taken some poetic license with that, but he has a feast day. In fact, AIDzee might even prefer that. Instead of St. Adrian's Day, just the Feast of Adrian. I feel like he might actually prefer that. Oh, wait, what's I going to do? Just because I can, and I'm a special boy who deserves special treats, I'm going to put a cherry in my drink. Stab. From hell's black heart, I stab at thee. Ooh! See? This is going to be a good year because I got 2 cherries. Somewhat precariously, and I'm re-spearing them, but 2 cherries is a sign of a good year. That is our omen on the Feast of Adrian. When I was spearing blindly, I got 2 cherries. A sign that we will have a bountiful year apart. You know what? I'm going to put the 2 spicy rainers together, and I'm going to put the orange peel in there too. Stir it up a little bit. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh. And cheers, y'all. Well, see, now I've got the best of both worlds. I've diluted the lime juice a bit, but it's still there. Basically, the spicy rain is a good drink. But also, apparently, I need to go out and get some more chili liqueur. I didn't realize I'd finished it, but I sure can't find it. I'll have to get Mrs. Angry to have a look just to make sure I'm not just having a boy look. I'm glad you appreciate it, Raina. It's just, seeing you visit made me go, you know what? Because we'd actually been talking about it because we just had the anniversary of when I first made the spicy Raina. Was December 27th, 2019. So we just had the 4th anniversary of the invention of the spicy Raina. And I've been talking about remaking it and using tequila instead of vodka, which is an obvious upgrade. And it was fucking yummy. It's a good drink. Well, I tell you what, Fireball might not be the chili liqueur, but it's got a little burn going on. Ooh, that's likely to cause a bit of a hoo-ha. South Korea banning dog meat. That's so they're trying to separate themselves from Japan again, because Japan actually has a festival where they slaughter a bunch of dogs. So Safia, you went home, sister's going overseas, had dinner, walked around town lake, so you were in Victoria. You're in my state? A state of disrepair? A state of anxiety? A state of anger? Or the state of Victoria? Victorious. Me being silly. But yeah. All right, so that's a little highlight for me. Actually, finally getting around to remaking the spicy Raina. And, it's a good comparison with and without lime juice. If you like those bright, sour drinks, throw some lime juice in there, but I don't. Instabiel, how are you? Another person saying hello from Twitch. So I always throw out when someone who I don't recognize on Twitch comes in, I say, hello, nice to see you. And just so you know, I use a thing called StreamYard to restream to multiple platforms. Most people watch me on YouTube, but some people do watch on Twitch and some watch on Facebook, like Toma. Back to work. Okay, I get back to work next week. So that's the other thing. So, Xavier, there's a bit of flooding around the place. Oh, well, State of Delusion is another good one that I'm definitely in, Richard. Instabiel, I'm doing quite well, thank you. I'm having an extended break from work. Well, 3 weeks. This is the 3rd week. So it's getting in my head now that I have to go back next week. But that's okay. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Because I go into the office on Mondays and Tuesdays, so I get up a bit earlier. I switched off all my alarms. I've been sleeping in. That didn't work. All right. There we go. I'm going to switch my early Monday, Tuesday alarms back on because I'll need them next week. Where's my alarms? Got to edit this because I had it on Thursdays. I had to go in a couple Thursdays. Save. Okay, 6:30 a.m. next Monday and Tuesday. Hot damn. Wow, Justin, 1 year for your long service leave. Fucking 10 years before I get long service leave. Well, not quite. You get it at 10 years, don't you? Just in time for me to fucking retire. I'll maybe get long service leave just in time to retire. So take a paid holiday just before retiring. Because I'm old. Ooh. Yep. Thanks for coming on, by the way, Raina, because you appeared, I made the spicy Raina, and it's a good drink. I like it. I'm glad you joined in with a tequila shot too, by the way. Oh, what else will we do? I was literally just thinking of getting my freezer martini, actually, because I haven't done that for a little while. What's the time? That's coming up on 9. Maybe my last alcoholic beverage for the evening. Freezer martini? Raina, having good time. I'm so glad to hear it. It's so nice to see you and have you joining in. So it's tennis season. Doesn't tennis happen all year in different parts of the world? But I suppose the Grand Slams officially starts with the Australian Open. Justin, yes, I think you're right. It varies from department to department. And Safa, I again super lazy. Had one of my microwave dinners. Buffalo chicken, not buffalo wings. It was like crumbed fillets of chicken with the buffalo sauce and mac and cheese and broccoli. It's actually not my favorite. I got it to have something different, and it's not terrible. Not my favorite though. Um, I much prefer, because this is the U-food stuff. The fried chicken and gravy and mash one. Fuck, I love that. They don't offer that every week, so I can't get it every week. But it's so funny. Mrs. Angry's lad came around because he's here half the time, and he's at his dad's place half the time. And he came in today, and he's got this. Well, it's not really a baby; it's a pre-adolescent pigeon that's needs taking care of. He's a pigeon rescuer, and he's brought it around. He's discovered it's got a calcium deficiency. It can't walk very well, so he's going to be feeding it calcium to strengthen it up. But it kind of likes human contact and wants security. Will go right next to you, or even when I sat forward on the lounge, it went behind me to feel secure. But he sat it down next to me, sitting next to me, and I was having this. I had chicken for lunch too, but a very different sort of like breast chicken in creamy carbonara sauce, which I prefer to the one I had for dinner. But anyway, I sit down with this chicken lunch and a little pigeon next to me, and I went, just in case you can tell this is bird, it's not chicken. I mean, it's chicken, it's not pigeon, okay? It's no one you know. Yes, that is the pigeon I put on Facebook and Twitter as well. Is he going to be a vet? I mean, excellent question. He's very much into the pigeon rescuing, so who knows? Certainly, he's doing. He likes. I don't think he has any interest. You have to like do uni for vet science, and he's doing computer game programming, which I think he's really into. Actually, I'm even thinking. I'll show everyone who didn't see it. It's not that far away. Where is the baby pigeon? Oh, there it is. When was this? December 30th. So I'll just share it. Where are we? That's the baby pigeon. Oh, nice. Strictly say you had a fun night. What did you do for a fun night out? That sounds like a fine time. I'm gonna leave you with a sort of messed up looking baby pigeon which was sitting on my knee. I am going to get my freezer tea. Okay. I'm back. It's me again. Once more, I'm back. All right, so baby pigeon can. Oh man, I almost clicked the wrong thing. So you went to Holy Moly Mini Golf, and you can take booze on the golf course. Nice. Yeah, Suffer, have we graduated? Pigeon in charge. I mean, if Mrs. Angry's lad came in here with the one that's bonded with him, not that baby one, who knows what's going to happen? I'm sure he intends to release the baby one. Richard, you need some wake up coffee. Fair enough. I'm having wake up martini. The Infinity Freezer Martini. It continues. Probably enough. Be restrained. Ooh, there was a bit of the sweetness left there, and then it's probably won't even translate to the screen. This has a very faint pink hue. Hmm. Mm, mm, mm. Ooh, Discord. I'll have to fire up Discord. Do 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 do. What are we doing on Discord? It's a good picture. Where are we going? Gotta share the new screen. Where are we? Strictly Sega mini golfing with was that a unicorn? It's like a little kawaii unicorn you've got there. So mini golf and video games by the looks of it in the background. Nice. Mandy Cup cover up. You had a Long Island iced tea, the one of everything drink. Yes. Justin, yes, I was talking about Summer Nats on Sunday. Yeah, the police were pretty aggressive about it. So, Richard, you generated a picture, an eagle saluting the American flag on the flagpole. Oh, I do like playing with it, but artists are justifiably upset at those AI image generators because they have stolen the art of thousands of artists, used it without permission, because that's the sort of thing tech bros do. Very little human connection. I won't deny they're fun to play with, though. But they do have a lot of friends who are artists who are justifiably pissed off at the companies behind those things. Very typical douchey tech bro stuff, quite honestly. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Mm. So my freezer martini's gone down a little bit. So it's time to top it up. I have to decide which gins to top it up with. I was thinking of putting a citrusy gin because I have some citrusy gins in there. Richard, you shared it on the Discord. Where are we? Oh my god, it's got a fucking hand. Okay, I am going to share this just because the hand cracks me up. Where is it? If I can zoom in on, it's literally got a hand on the end of its wing. That's so fucking funny. Fabulous. That's given me a giggle. An actual hand coming out of its wing to salute. Richard, I feel like there'll be people who get that as a tattoo, quite honestly. Because I've certainly seen much, much worse tattoos. It's putting it mildly. I've seen much worse tattoos. Yeah, it's just that Australians don't really do that. Apart from the fucking weirdos. There was a very funny one circulating, and I think someone had done it as a spoof. And I think they did it as one of the less advanced image generators, and it was like, I don't know, super patriotic Australians at a barbecue holding beers and saluting the Australian flag, because there were a couple of very funny glitches. I feel like this is what you're asking me about now. The where one of them had double arms. He had two arms on the same side doing a double salute, and one of them had a hand coming out of his chest holding a beer. So I think it was one of the less advanced image generators. Raina, you're worried about the people who get tattoos like that? Yes, so should say. And that's the thing. I don't know if it's so hard to tell with those things if it's really a right wing nut job or if it's someone role playing and making fun of right wing nut jobs, because the actual right wing nut jobs are so extreme that they're bought. I just realized I don't have my on air light on. I'm going to stick my. There we go. We're on air. Took me till the halfway mark to work that out. Yeah. It's Richard, it's what it was doing the rounds on social media in Australia in the last couple of days. Purportedly from some weirdo right wing nut job. But who knows? Because a friend of mine who's a left wing agitator had a Facebook group that got really big called the Million Patriots March. And he was trying to lampoon the weird jingoistic right wingers. And I think he eventually came to the conclusion you can't be more extreme than the actual weirdos are. Yes, that was Tom Tanuki. Did the Million Patriots March. And it was pretty funny, but I genuinely think he's just gone, God, you can't actually parody these people. Yeah, maybe they're like the Wicked Witch of the West, Raina. You like spray them with water and they melt. But yeah, they are a troubling group. Acid. Oh, that's getting a little sort of finish on it. Maybe I'll put some sweeter gins in it when I top it up. Not such a fan of the bitter finish. But yeah, I think the coming months in the US are going to be a whole fucking thing in the lead up to the US presidential race, with Trump being so far out in front on the Republican front, but with a couple of states saying he shouldn't be allowed on the ballot, and the US Supreme Court might get involved. And it's like, A, they're heavily stacked in favor of Trump, but B, I think their big thing is we don't want to make a political decision. So I literally don't know what they do. I I don't know if they would say the courts should not be involved in the democratic process and say the state Supreme Courts don't have the right to disqualify Trump, or if they will say, we're not going to get involved in this at all and we are not going to overturn any state level decisions. We'll see if anything else comes to us post-election. Is the weirdest thing, because, of course, Trump absolutely falsely, baselessly claimed the last election was stolen. He really won it. It was like, no, you didn't. You lost, you big fucking loser. You're a loser and your supporters are losers. You're the most losingest losers there are, okay? But, you know, if he's actually blocked from being on some of the ballots, that's something he and his supporters are never going to let go of. I agree that the Supreme Court doesn't do Trump's bidding, and they have had decisions against him in the past, but I really don't know what they're going to be at. So, Richard, you're doing an AI search. Kangaroos, koalas at a barbecue, on with people and roos. I mean, again, people, like millions of people have been playing with those things. So there's going to be millions of examples of truly weird stuff. What's interesting is some of them won't let you use famous people as a reference. And some of them clearly will, because I keep seeing these pictures on social media of generated images of very famous people being presented in ways they would not like. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of intrigued as to what engine people are using to generate these. Because what I've seen, the public face of these things is they're like, oh, we don't want to do things with public figures, and we don't want to do like really violent imagery. Well, again, Justin, you may remember me on more than one occasion where I talk about this, the people with the concept of like worshipping the US Constitution is akin to a fucking mental illness as far as I'm concerned. I find it fundamentally ridiculous and stupid to do the founding fathers, like motherfuckers born in the region of 300 years ago. Their views of the world have very close to zero value to the world we're in today. Okay, Rainy, you see a lot of the cast of Friends in AI pics. Yeah. So some of the engines will say they don't want to do it, but some clearly do. I haven't been playing with them lately, so I don't know. Okay. What are we doing? 9:06. Oh, I want to have something outrageously sweet now. And I have the exact thing in mind. So I just had a little bit of finish on it. So I want something that's the opposite of that. So I'm going to get some. Oh man, I'm a little bit drunk. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe at the Tim Smith level, quite honestly. All right, that's there. But from the mysterious cupboard of mystery, I'm going to bring out the stoneware jug, which is a brandy liqueur. That's quite low alcohol, absurdly sweet. Now I've got to worry less about getting really drunk and more about getting the diabetes. Oof. Sheepdog would have been another good one, actually. Stuff that will give me the diabetes. All right. Going to put that in there. Put that in there. Put that over there. Put it over there. Over there. Oh, Richard, I've got plenty of drinks with kick if I want one. Just in the 1930s, people of Germany elected Hitler, Russians democratically elected Putin. Well, once the Russians democratically elected Putin. That's true. And the whole thing about Germany electing Hitler is kind of, sort of. There was a lot of subversion of the system happening there. All right. Just getting another bit of peel there. Man, this orange has a really nice amount of oils in the peel. Big spritz when I squeeze it. Well, now there's this wonderful orange aroma off my drink. And that's super fucking yummy. Comparatively low alcohol, really sweet. I think I put the jug away. I think it's 20%. But admittedly, that's all I put in there. So a lot of mixed drinks will be less than 20% by the time you get them. So arguably, that's a little bit strong. It's a quandary that I find myself in. I will. Okay. It's that thing with the door plugs. I was just looking at what tabs I had open. Was there an interesting news? Flooding in Victoria. Ooh, bad batch of droogs at a Flemington rave. South Korea's parliament endorses landmark legislation outlawing dog meat consumption. I feel like that's going to cause a bit of a scene. Why are there tiny ants in my home? What can I do about it? Actually, that's a problem I have. What does the ABC say about tiny ants? Warmer temperatures synonymous with the smell of sunscreen. Southern areas surefire indicator. Tiny ants in the kitchen. Ants, like many insects, are cold-blooded. Weather gets warmer, ants wake. They're looking for sugary and fatty foods. Duh. Not just heat and hunger, rain has a part to play as ants seek shelter indoors. God, we had two of the soggiest days I can remember in Melbourne. Sunday and Monday, just incredible soggy. And that's a real one, actually. People of Britain voting for Brexit. Trying to find out what to do about ants. Actually, we did have a lot of them. Now it's like I see a couple that are obviously scouts, and I kill them. Ants aren't a health threat. They're only problematic when they nest their way into unsealed food packets. Yes. So you got to wipe down. Well, of course, you want to wipe down the benches. It says bleach or vinegar. Okay. Yes, keep things clean. Yes. Sorry, and now, so related stories on the ABC website. They're pretty awesome. Woman ambushed by venomous ants on her muesli bar, or there are 2.5 million ants for every human on Earth, study says. Now, that's clearly a made up number because they have no way of knowing that. But, ant swarm attacks Karatha woman as she eats a muesli. And so there's a picture where their face is all swollen. 2 bites of a muesli bar. All it took for Deanne Cook to feel like she was on fire. She's eating all these little ants. Felt like I was on fire. I was in the shower sobbing. Didn't know what happened until I went to the pantry and saw the carnage. A colony of Singapore ants had attacked her food, chewing through sealed packets. She took antihistamines, but her face swelled up. She was forced to take a day off work. Oh, dear. Everything has to be thrown out and fumigated. Singapore ant not generally considered dangerous. They're an invasive species for the northern parts of Australia. She was stung in a very sensitive area. They have venom glands associated with the sting. I've been stung by thousands of Singapore ants. Consider them virtually innocuous compared with other things that can sting. But I hate to be stung in the mouth or the eye, certainly. And they do chew through plastic to feed. They eat people's eskies, thongs, and wiring in cars. Jesus. They could eat electrical wires. They get into plastics, chew the insulation plastic off electricals. They can cause fires. If you see them in the pantry, it's a wake-up call. They're likely to get into food and recruit more. Dang. So that's a Northern Australia problem. Well, don't live in Northern Australia. It's fucking fucked up there. So, Richard, you in the States, you're getting heavy rain, slow sleet. Yeah, we just, earlier everyone was predicting an El Nino summer, which meant hotter and drier. But for most of Australia, it's actually been much wetter than we expected. And certainly, as Mrs. Angry was noting, the 2 days of just constant rain almost never happens in Melbourne. You get 1 day of constant rain. You get storms and you get showers over multiple days. But this was 2 days of near constant rain, which is very unusual. But it's gone now. Now we're meant to get several days of no rain. A couple of days of sort of mid-20s, which I quite like. But then Friday's meant to be a bit sucky. 31. That's a bit warmer than... It's not heat wave conditions. It's a bit fucking warmer than I like it, though. Next couple of days, 25 and no rain. That's close to my perfect weather. Maybe a little bit warmer. I kind of like it at like 23 Celsius and no rain. Now I'm thinking for Richard, I should convert that to freedom units for you. So yes, my ideal temperature is mid-70s Fahrenheit. And Friday, which is warmer than I like, is going to be high 80s. Might get as high as 90 Fahrenheit on Friday. Oofed. So yes, I like mid-70s, not mid to high 80s. Justin, you don't believe people always get it right. Most people vote in motion. But okay. And of course, you're getting into very dangerous territory there. You start saying people can't be trusted to make the right choices. People can't make their own choices. You start to veer into fascism at that point. Not that I want to assert, not that I'm completely disagreeing with you, that people will make bad choices. I just think it's a very complex issue because making the sweeping statement of people can't be trusted to make the right choice can lean towards fascism. Yes, and I did not think you're undemocratic, Justin. Better educated, but that's the whole. Jesus Christ, we are seeing some weird, fucked up, and scary shit in the US. Quite honestly, people rebelling against education. because it is more difficult to get away with far right policies and tendencies with an educated populace. It's not impossible, but it's more difficult. Uh, in fact, it's more difficult to get away with extremism of any stripe with a well-educated population. And I think politicians generally have found uh, a well-educated population makes it harder for them to apply repressive and coercive policies. So you have had quite a lot of political forces being less than fond of highly educated people over the years. So yeah, it's you know, better education. Again, there's the whole thing. Anything pushed too far becomes dangerous. Like better education, honestly, for the majority of people, means an education that makes people think the way I think. Um, Now, I genuinely believe that an in depth, broad, and small L liberal education is going to influence the majority of people to be more progressive in their views because, very broadly speaking, and there's a lot of exceptions to this, but very broadly speaking, people who are exposed to a variety of ideas, a variety of cultures, a variety of people are less closed minded. And that's why when you get politicians and power brokers that want to control the population, one thing they often want is controls and limits on the education of the population. Hello, Heine, by the way. How are you doing? Dun, dun, dun. Man, that drink I bought myself is very sweet. Has diabetes in every sip, quite honestly. But that's okay. Oh, right. But yes, you're still working on your new bicycle. Nice, being given it more runs. That's what you need to do. Break in the new bicycle. Get all happening. Oh, goodness gracious me. Yeah, the Liberal Party has a lot of trouble getting power in the ACT, not least because the overwhelming number of people in the public service and the Liberals would cut jobs. Seat time. Does that mean spending more time on the seat, or you're going to spend time working on the seat? I think what we've seen is the Conservatives in Australia, with fucking seismic shifts in generational voting, are going to have difficulty maintaining power for very long anywhere. I do feel federal Labor, in their boring, risk averse behavior, are actually taking the real risk of alienating the electorate and losing power. It's very weird to me that they think like, oh no, we can't actually enact any progressive policies. We've just got to be like, we're not as bad as the Liberal Party, which is a shithouse pissweak way to be. No, they didn't look at Dan Andrews going like, look how successful he was, just quite aggressively putting policies in place. the weakness and the vacillation of federal Labor is quite disappointing. Although I was thinking today, it's very interesting with the voice referendum. The Liberal Party made no secret of the fact they were trying to make this uh, a way to weaken Labor and Albanese. And my personal feeling, and I'd be interested in what everyone else thinks. I feel like people have just forgotten about the voice referendum. It's like it's just gone. Whereas the Liberal Party were hoping it would be a good thing. Oh, we got a victory against Albanese. Fuck yeah, we're going to win the next federal election. I don't see that at all. I see like the referendum's come and gone, and people basically have forgotten about it. So, oof. I'm sure Labor's hoping Dutton stays as Liberal Party leader up to the next election because he's such electoral poison. Yeah, there were various rumours of there being a leadership move against Dutton. I feel like other people would only do that if they thought they could win the next election because they are almost definitely going to lose the next election with Dutton in charge. And if they rolled Dutton, there would be a high chance they would lose the next election anyway. I'd always said, and again, I say this all the time, political predictions are fucking dog shit and a mug's game. But I'm doing it anyway. I feel like the Libs copped a pasting at the last election because people finally got sick of Scummo, and Dutton wanted to be leader, and everyone who had long-term view went like, "Yep, we are definitely losing the next election as well. Dutton wants to be leader. Cool. Let him lead us into another loss, and then we'll be in rebuilding mode." That's my take on it. That the people who think they have a future went, okay, we're definitely losing the next election, so let Dutton be leader and lose, and then we'll get rid of him, and then we can maybe build from there. Justin, I am deeply hoping Dutton is the leader at the next election and gets humiliated. Be funny if he lost his seat, honestly. And strictly saying, that's the thing. You're right. They're short memory. Oh God, yes, Justin, that was one of my favorites. It was like, we're trying to humanize Peter Dutton. Let's talk to his wife. And she goes, he's not a monster. You only have to say that if everyone thinks he's a fucking monster. Because he's a fucking monster. Being a good boy. Drinking some soda water before bedtime. Rather than continuing to drink alcohol. Because I'm a good boy. Safa, I don't think he'll have a say in it. I think it's just generally after an election loss, you fuck off. You resign. And he'll get rolled. Hey Nathan, how you doing? Kangaroo Land politics. Oh God, yes. No, Nathan, it's just like Keir Starmer's such a fucking shithouse alternative to the Tories. So most people think the Tories are probably going to cop a pasting in the next election, but then Keir Starmer as Prime Minister will probably be kind of exactly like, say, John Major as a Prime Minister. Keir Starmer sucks so fucking much, honestly. Yeah, but we kind of have that here too, quite honestly, at the federal level. Tory and Tory light. Alexi Sale's poem, I fucking hate Keir Starmer, is so funny. I might see if I can find the text of it. I'm not going to put a video up because I'll get fucking content matched. Alexi Sale, I hate Keir Starmer poem. Okay, I don't want it on YouTube. See if I can get the text of it. It's a slam poem, yes. I am old school AIDzee Sale fan from the Young Ones and his series stuff. The fuck? Oh, fuck off, fucking websites. No, everyone's got the video. I want the text of it. Cause I'll get content matched if I play the video. Oh, anyway, go look it up. AIDzee Sale, I fucking hate Keir Starmer, is very funny. The video is very easy to find. Is well worth it. Strictly saying, you think Labor can be soft cocks? Who have? And yeah, no, I think that's a huge failing of Labor's. They're very cowardly. Nathan, I don't think you should feel bad about voting for the Greens. Honestly, Labor's not doing it. Holy shit, Raina, staying up at 2:30 a.m. Thank you so much for being here and inspiring me to make the spicy Raina. It's a definitely good drink. Oh, okay, Nathan. Okay, first, okay. Well, I hope you know that I'm not going to upset you now, but AIDzee died over a year ago. And it's just a joke that this is the feast of Adrian in the Catholic Church feast days. I don't think Adrian's actually a saint. Like, I looked it up, and I think, I don't think he's an actual saint, but he was a big figure in First Millennium Church in England. And I just thought it was funny that it was the feast day of Adrian. Like I said, when I was really pressed and looked up, I don't think he's a saint. Justin, you need an education system. I mean, yeah, critical thinking tends to undermine fascists, which is why, God, even bog standard conservatives seem to oppose sort of liberal education that encourages critical thinking because it'll fucking undermine their policies. Because a lot of people, when they get more education, tend to be more empathetic and they go like, well, I actually care what happens to other people. Like, yes, I care what happens to me. I want my life to be good. I want to be looked after. But I also actually care about other people. And that's where I think you get the fundamental disconnect between the left and right in modern politics. The right is what's in it for me, and the left in its purest form is like, let's not hurt other people. You definitely get people who are self-described on the left who are absolute pricks. You definitely get people who are self-described conservatives who are lovely people who do wonderful, caring things. But in very broad terms, the philosophy of the right is, how does this help me? And the philosophy on the left is, how does this help the greatest number of people? And particularly, how does this help disadvantaged and marginalized groups? Oh, Nathan, so many drinks this stream. Currently, soda water, because I got to go to bed, in half an hour. But I had like a couple martini variants, and my long-term YouTube friend Raina joined us from California. And it was recently the anniversary of a drink I made for her called the Spicy Rainer, and I did an updated version of it on the stream. It was very nice. That's what I'm saying. Saying Trump's a Frankenstein. Oh, it's hilarious that the establishment Republicans lost control of Trump. It's fucking hilarious. Because you got to give Trump credit for that. He absolutely destroyed the establishment of the Republican Party. Had all these people saying, he's awful, he's terrible, he can't be the candidate. And he's their fucking creation, quite honestly. But they're like, no, he's awful. He can't be the candidate. And then when he did become the candidate, they all fucking sucked up to him. They all were shit talking him, saying he can't possibly be the candidate, and he beat them. And then they just all became his simps, which is funny and terrifying, quite honestly. So, yes, the weakness of the establishment Republicans laid bare. And I've said this heaps, that as much I actually dislike the establishment of the Democratic Party in the US, but they didn't fuck around. When they had a threat, they galvanized their forces against it. The Republicans didn't realize the danger of Trump, and he got them. The Democrats went, oh, Bernie Sanders is going to completely fuck us. So they mobilized all their forces against him. Republicans didn't pay the price. Nathan, never apologize for going off topic. Always a good topics. Yes, Elmo has almost run Twitter into the ground. Conservatively, it's lost 70 to 75% of its value under his super brain stewardship. It remains to be seen. Will it go to someone else and be saved? I don't know. What's funnier to me is, will the various boards of the other companies, SpaceX, Tesla, etc., go, oh my God, this fucking freak is a horrible, toxic liability and is destroying the value of these companies. We have to get rid of him. There was that brief period. It hit its peak probably pre-COVID, probably just pre-COVID. So 2017, 2018, where it's like, Elon Musk's a genius. And he was in all sorts of pop culture. He was in movies and TV shows as this awesome guy that everyone thought was awesome and smart and whatnot. And the last 4 years, the wheels have progressively come off, and he's just been exposed as an absolute charlatan and a grifter and a fucking moron, quite honestly. It's spectacular. If all he had done was shut the fuck up, people would still think he was cool. But he's a fucking idiot. You think Twitter could implode? Yeah, it absolutely could cease to exist. Oh yeah, crypto is such a fucking scam. Who the fuck knows? I mean, I feel like we are going to see his comeuppance. I think history is probably going to be a little footnote of, why the fuck did anyone ever think this guy was smart when he was so obviously a child of privilege, a scammer, and a con man? Oh, Justin, that's a big call on Threads. I don't know. None of you okay, so the two biggest potential Twitter competitors are Blue Sky and Threads, but still nobody references Threads or Blue Sky in the mainstream. Musk has managed to destroy between 50 and 80% of the goodwill about Twitter. And I refuse to call it X. Fuck that fucking dead shit fuckwit. But I think Threads and Blue Sky have both failed to capitalize, essentially. Yeah, but okay. SpaceX is one of the first ones where what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Because they were having problems with a launch. This was a long time ago, like at least 6 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but they're having problems with a launch, and he was going in the media saying things like, "If they can't fix it, I'll go down there and fix it." It's like, motherfucker. Even then, I'm going like, "You're not a rocket scientist. These people are literal rocket scientists. You bought your way into this. You bought the talent. If the actual talent is having a problem, you can't fix it. You narcissistic fuckwit." And yet, Justin, that's an if. And I find it very interesting that none of the alternatives have managed to usurp Twitter. Twitter will have to collapse completely. Strictly Sega. I was a sucker for the self-driving thing with Teslas. That I was completely absorbed in that. Like, yes, self-driving cars, the future. I did not realize the scale to which Musk specifically and other people generally were fucking lying about their capability to make safe self-driving vehicles. I was so on board with that. And now it's like, oh, okay, so the self-driving thing is orders of magnitude more difficult to master than any of these people acknowledged. And Musk, in particular, has been a liar and a grifter for the best part of a decade about the capabilities of Teslas with self driving. And that it was very interesting. NASA couldn't do things that SpaceX, but again, it's not Musk. It's literally uh, the fact that he bought in incredibly talented people and then pretended the technology was down to him, and it just wasn't. There are mind-blowingly talented and smart people in SpaceX, no doubt whatsoever. But that fuckwit like claiming credit for it, it's just like and like when he did this thing years back, literally, if they can't fix it, I'll go down and fix it. And it's like, fuck off, you moron. You are absolutely incapable of improving on what those actual rocket scientists at SpaceX are doing. You fucking narcissistic gimp. Oh. I think that's when I started to go, oh, what's up with this guy? So, Justin, nature of social media, there's reason there's a Facebook competitor. Well, okay. We stopped doing the Angry Bingo cards a long time ago, but this is a big square on the Angry Bingo cards. Me invoking Cory Doctorow, a writer I like. He writes both fiction and non-fiction, and his non-fiction is often commentary on the tech world and where tech crosses society and whatnot. He has some really good pieces he's written on how evil some of these companies are, particularly Facebook. And he's coined the term enshittification, which is where these companies gradually fuck up what used to be a good thing. And they start off, and this is YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all these things, is like giving users this awesome thing. Isn't this awesome? You love this. This is an awesome thing. And everyone goes, yeah, this is an awesome thing. And he's going like, well, and the companies go, we'll just give you this awesome thing and we'll never fuck you over. And the users go, okay. And then the company goes to advertisers and go, well, these suckers fell for it. We lied. We are definitely going to fuck them over. We will sell you all their personal information so you can do ads to them. And the advertisers go, cool. And then when the advertisers get locked in, then they fuck over the advertisers and they make the platform worse and worse and worse till it's unusable. And shitification. So yes. Nathan, you remember kids being stuck to... Oh, yeah, no, that was down this part of the world. And he had this ridiculous submarine idea that was terrible. And the people who were actually doing the cave rescue said, this was terrible. And so he went on this whole thing and called the guy who was doing the rescue a pedo. He's a child. Elon Musk is an arrested development, pathetic, emotionally underdeveloped child. So Street can say your things that made you question Musk. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the rescuing the kids in the cave. I think that was when, for a lot of people who'd maybe maintained positive feelings about Musk, went, wait, what's wrong with this guy? And what's wrong with this guy is he's a child of privilege. He's a petulant, pathetic, narcissistic, emotionally arrested development child. He is not a functioning adult. And Marimetti, look, most children act better, which is why I threw in the arrested development thing. He has not emotionally developed at all. And that was because he was a child of privilege. Where he just got everything his own way, and he had enough money to buy his way into success off the back of other people's work, starting with PayPal. Not his idea. He bought into it. And he bought into Tesla, bought into SpaceX, bought into Twitter and destroyed it. But, he's just... The dude is fucked, man. He's so fucked. Okay, I don't know that story, although it sounds like fun. He's bullying someone. His dad died. The person threw him down some stairs. Pity they didn't throw him off a balcony or something, but Man, okay, it was a little bit warm today and I didn't put air conditioning on at all. And I feel like this room's a bit hot. I feel a little bit sweaty, but it's almost bedtime, so I will probably survive. I will just have some more iced soda water. That will probably keep me going. Oofed. That's a whole thing. Okay, Marimedia, that's an interesting one. Screwed SpaceX in New Zealand. You knew someone was working with it. Oh, he's definitely running it into the ground. He just says and does stupid shit. It's just, so fucking embarrassing. You don't get the sun? Yeah, okay. And of course, we always laugh when we hear these things about, everyone in England's sweating and whatnot, a heat wave, because it was, 30 Celsius for a week or two. And it's like, that's just normal. That's not even hot. Our heat waves are 40 Celsius for a week or two. But I also get that when the architecture is not built for those temperatures, when those temperatures happen, it's friggin' tough. But it was not that hot today, but I didn't turn aircon on at all. I think it was like 26, 27 and a bit humid because it rained constantly for a couple of days before that. And so now I'm just feeling a little sweaty. But I'll probably survive. And I'll go to bed. You know what I'm going to do, actually? Because this is actually a bedroom that I'm in. I'm going to do a thing just before going to bed of cooling down the bedrooms, and then I'll be able to sleep easier. And I absolutely agree, Justin. Musk is a troll. He's a very insecure child who trolls for attention and validation. Yeah, I think you'd probably find it amusing what people in Sydney think is cold, honestly. I mean, when you get up to the tropical north, if you're in Darwin, if the maximum's under 20 in the middle of winter, they freak out a bit. If the minimum goes below 10 Celsius, they freak out a bit. Because that's too cold. Because they're in the tropics. All right, I'm going to duck out for a few seconds and turn on the aircon. So that'll also chill my bedroom down before going to bed. And that'll be better. Okay. Oof. This is in no way related to all the alcohol I drank in the first half of the show. Oh, okay. That should do something. Oh man, it's fucking warm in here. No two ways about it. Oh yes. Now I feel the air coming in now. Oh, that'll be better. Whenever like Mrs. Angry's playing God of War Ragnarok, so there's all this noise of battle and clashing and screaming going on. It's so funny how much more of a gamer she's become than me. But that's cool. I also got her The Last of Us Part 2 for Christmas. So she's probably going to play that next. It is absolutely possible, Justin, and they freak out when it happens. They freak out when the maximum is less than 20, and they definitely freak out if the minimum goes below 10. Which is kind of funny. Ugh. Ooh. Yeah, it is. It's all down to what you're used to, quite honestly. Yeah, like I had Canadian friends, people who out here, like, either for an extended working holiday or permanently, but they grew up in Canada, where you get the areas they were in got to minus 30 Celsius. And they're trying to explain how, they would get 7-foot snow drifts and minus 30 Celsius. I'm like, what the fuck? And they said, oh, don't worry. After about minus 20 Celsius, it's just too cold and your body can't tell any difference. And they explained the architecture of their houses. There's a room at the front of the house for taking off all your cold and wet gear. Like, because you'd be wearing these big boots and shit, and the house is heated. And there'd be this room at the front that's not heated. And that's where you take everything off, all the layers of clothing and the boots that are just snow sodden. And then you just go into the rest of the house and you dress like a normal person. Australian houses do not have a room like that. Justin, the closer you get to the equator, the more consistent the temperature is. It's just the humidity that varies. And that's basically what you get in Darwin, incredibly consistent temperatures with just humidity variations. So when they get, and it is very unusual, but when they get the colder days, for them, which is mild and temperate for the southern states of Australia, they fucking freak out. Nathan, you want to say? Oh, yes, you got a doctor's appointment. Nathan, thank you so much for dropping in. It's glad to have you here. I hope you have a good doctor's appointment, and I hope to see you again another time. Oof. Drinking also. Okay, now I'm getting waves of cool air, and I'm feeling better about the world in general because I'm getting waves of air. Yes. Ski lodges have that. Strictly say you're absolutely right, but it's like all houses in Canada have that. Safi, soda water's good. Just water's good, but I'm working my way through my collection. It's getting down there. My Cappy flavored soda waters, which they don't even make anymore, that I bought half a dozen crates of when they were stopping production because they was selling them for 75% off. So I was like, fuck yeah. And I'd ended up with like half a dozen crates of their soda water. And it's getting right down. I've probably drunk like 80 to 90% of it, I'll be at a loss. When I finally get through it all and there's none left, I'll be at a loss. What do I do now? But yeah. So that was a whole thing. They had all these flavors that I really liked, and they don't make anymore. When it was clear they were clearing the warehouse, I bought a bunch, and yeah, I'm getting to the end of it. So everything there is a share room between two apartments. Keeps cold out. Undress in the front door corridor. Hooks. Yeah, that's very similar to what my Canadian friends were saying. But again, them telling me that a normal winter was minus 30 Celsius and 2 meter, even 3 meter snow drifts is just fuck. What the fuck? Okay, I feel like I've missed something, Strictly Sega. What Twiggy are we talking about? Twiggy the model from the 60s? I don't know. Because there's a few Twiggies in Australia today. There's that mining guy, Forrest, nicknamed Twiggy. The earliest one I know of was was it real name Jeannie Shrimpton? The first supermodel, Twiggy. I'm gonna look it up. I think her name was Jeannie Shrimpton. Twiggy. I feel like she was the first supermodel. Oh no, her name was Leslie Lawson. She's still around too, age 74, born in 1949. Oh, Jeannie Shrimpton, I think, was Australian, and she was famous for wearing a miniskirt. She was famous for wearing a miniskirt at the Melbourne Cup. Real name, Jean Shrimpton. About the same age as Twiggy. She's an icon of swinging London. She's also one of the world's first supermodels. She worked with photographer David Bailey. She was widely reported as being the highest paid model at the time. She helped launch the mini skirt. In 1965, she made a 2-week promotional visit to Australia, sponsored by the VRC, Victorian Racing Club. She was paid £2,000, which was an enormous sum at the time. She arrived at the Victoria Derby wearing a white shift dress, which ended 5 centimetres above her knees. She wore no hat, stockings, or gloves. So, yes, I was right. She was famous for wearing a miniskirt at an Australian racing thing. Twiggy was famous for being a model, and she was an actress as well. Jeannie Shrimpton was a contemporary, also a model, famous for wearing a miniskirt to an Australian racing event. I know, Richard, how shocking is that? No hat, stockings, or gloves. Very shocking. It's the reason I thought Jeannie Shrimpton was Australian, because she did that famous thing at a Victorian racing carnival thing. I love how you say that, Safia. Ibram Novosibirsk. I just hear the Yakov Smirnov voice. But yes, Twiggy and Jeannie Shrimpton were contemporaries. This is me trying to remember the Blues Brothers. I don't remember Twiggy and the Blues Brothers. I'll find a picture. What was Twiggy in the Blues Brothers? Images. Where was... Oh, that was her in the car. She's in a convertible. Okay, I'm going to share this image because now I see this image, I recognize her. I haven't watched the Blues Brothers in ages. I do like the Blues Brothers. What the fuck? So yeah, that's Twiggy in the Blues Brothers. Yes, they ran out of gas as they were waiting for the petrol tanker. Yeah, I completely forgot. I had to look it up. I'd utterly forgotten Twiggy and the Blues Brothers because I haven't watched it for a while. And Elwood stands her up. Yes. Yes. That is a fun random insert, Justin. Boiled an egg in the air fryer. You're like, who the fuck's Twiggy? Oh, okay, yeah, no, I super knew who Twiggy was. But I absolutely blanked on her in the Blues Brothers, which is wild. So, yeah. But as soon as I looked it up, I went Twiggy Blues Brothers, and the image came up, and I went, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah." Man, the Blues Brothers was a weird movie, possibly fueled by quite a lot of cocaine. Dan Aykroyd, who was writing most of the script, I think, was probably blasted a lot of the time on cocaine, and John Belushi was on fuck knows what sort of cocktail of drugs, which eventually killed him. Dan Aykroyd recovered. Dan Aykroyd survived. Dan Aykroyd's still with us. Belushi just took it too far. One toke over the line, as the old hippie saying went. Oh, good Lord. Oh, is there an extended version of the Blues Brothers? See, I didn't even know that. Well, actually, Justin, good point. I don't think... Was it... Did you bake it? Because there are baked eggs. If... Was the egg in water when you cooked it? Because if you cooked it in water, I think that counts as boiled. But if you just put a whole egg in the air fryer and cooked it, I think that's a baked egg, not a boiled egg. Yes, Heine, Safa's one of the Mongol hordes. I think we can all embrace that Safa is one of the Mongol hordes. And we love him for it, with our Genghis Khan genes. Ugh. Ugh. Even though that was my boost. Yes. See? Safa is one of the Mongol hordes. Well, that was water that I was drinking there, Justin. Is melted ice. I was just thinking, ugh, it's all combined into one. It is. This ice is all combined into one lump. Because I was just thinking of, oh yes, no, Safa, I think you are much closer related to Genghis Khan than the rest of us. Also, there's an extra assassination attempt from Carrie Fisher. So, I mean, honestly, that's good. And an extra song. Okay. Yes, I know. Justin, I know. Although I was drinking from my booze glass, it was just water. But there's this one. Oh, this is so fucking yummy. Like, I drank that brandy liqueur, which is very sugary. But this is one I made. This is a rum liqueur. Look how dark it is. I made it with my brown sugar. It's super yummy. Like if I just put a little bit in the glass, so I'm kind of my excuse is I'm flavoring this orange peel because Mrs. Angry's going to put it in the hot chocolate in the morning. So you say in the Blues Brothers, there's a John Lee Hooker scene on the way to the suit. So okay, again, a little while since I've watched the Blues Brothers, and so some of the subtleties of what happens in it are lost on me. Oh my god, that's so fucking good. I'm thinking because I actually have a lot of that sugar syrup. I might do a whiskey liqueur as well. So currently, on the homemade front, I'm opening Crystal Head gold decanters. This is a blood orange liqueur I made, which fucking kicks ass. It's very tasty and has real blood orange on it. And this is a rum liqueur I made, black as my soul, but sweet as my temperament. I think I might make a whiskey liqueur as well, actually. I know you don't get drunk from the hot chocolate, and I know you're only joking as well, Safa, but it's just putting a bit of flavour into the orange peel. So Mrs. Angry gets an interesting flavour in her hot chocolate. You only had 20 movies as a kid. Oh, okay. I don't think my parents would have been keen on me watching the Blues Brothers. I didn't see the Blues Brothers till I was an adult. When I was a teenager, my favorite film was definitely Mad Max. The whole mythos there. And I did think Mad Max 2 was probably better than Mad Max. Now I look at them and I go, it's kind of foolish to compare them because they're so stylistically and what they're doing, they're so different. It's kind of foolish to compare them. Mad Max 2 is much more like Fury Road. I think at this point, I think Fury Road's the pinnacle. But as I've said a few times, they've kind of hooked me in with the trailer for Furiosa. I'm like, oh, is this going to be my expectations will be too high and I won't like it? Or is it like Fury Road literally going to meet and exceed my expectations? Because if you know the history of Fury Road, it was in production hell for 20 years and then it finally got made. There's no way it should have been any good. If you know the history of films at all, a film that had so many problems and took so long to get made and went through there was a version at one point there was going to be an animated Mad Max Fury Road. But yeah, 20 years of development hell, there's no way it should have been any good. And I still assert it's basically the best movie of the 21st century. I fucking love it. It's so good. Oh, Strictly Sega. Okay, the TV censored version of the Blues Brothers would be pretty funny. I think I've seen the TV censored version and it made me laugh when I realized all the bits that are being cut and voice-overed so it was less rude. Sorry, that just escaped. That was very rude. Because if I was being less rude, I would have done it right into the microphone. I just noticed the microphone's actually a little bit in shot. I got the Yeti microphone. Here we go. I could change the settings on this so it's a stereo, and I could do ASMR. But honestly, people have found that off-putting when I've done it in the past. So, I'm trying to be good. Oh yeah. Oh my god. That would just not make any sense. because having gone through Catholic education, that swearing scene with the nun is very funny when she hits them with the ruler because they say something wrong and they go shit, and she hits them for swearing. It's oh fuck, and she just keeps hitting them, and they just keep going shit, fuck, and she's hitting them because they're swearing, and they're swearing because she's hitting them. It's like literally okay. Blazing Saddles. There was an edited TV version of it. One of the most famous scenes is the farting around the campfire scene because they're all eating beans around the campfire and they keep lifting their legs up and farting. The first time I saw Blazing Saddles, it was censored and there was no fart noises. So that scene did not really make any sense. You kind of got the vibe what they were talking about because they were eating vibe. Because Slim Pickens still had the line like, "Oh, I think you boys have had enough beans." But the whole thing is that scene was just silly and funny because it was over the top with the amount of fart sound effects in it. Uh, and so watching a version that didn't have the fart sounds in it was very weird. Although, you know what just came back into my head? Airline versions of things. Back in the day, airlines used to just do a film up on a screen for everyone. And so it was edited to be more or less G or maybe PG rated because everyone was watching the thing. Now you can watch what you have your own personal screen on the planes, even in economy class, and you can watch what the fuck ever. But I remember possibly the last time I went on an international flight that just had the one screen with the censored version of the thing. It was the Mel Gibson film Payback, which is a film I really like. And when you get into the resolution where he's faking out the bad guys because he lets them take him and they're going to torture him to get information. And yeah, when he tells like his romantic interest, he's gonna let them take him. He goes, and she says, "What if they ask you hard?" And he goes, "I'm ready for it." And basically, what they do when they're trying to get information out of him, he's refusing to give it to them, and they smash his toes with hammer, and he screams and whatnot, and he resists for about the first three toes. Like they smash three of his toes before he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll tell you." And he tells them some bullshit. But because he resisted while they smashed three of his toes, and then he finally caved, they believe him. But his thing all along is they're going to torture me and I'll resist for ages. And so then when I give in, they'll think I'm telling them the truth. But because this airline version, they couldn't show a thing where they smash multiple of his toes. It's literally when he's being interrogated, they raise the hammer and they haven't even smashed one of his toes. And he goes, "All right, I'll tell you." And it's like, it's totally different. In the airline version, he's like a complete wuss and he backs down the second they threaten to smash one of his toes. Whereas in the actual movie, he resists while they smash multiple of his toes. And then when he tells them something, they assume it's true because they've tortured it out of him. It's fucking wild how different that makes the movie, quite honestly. Also, 10 past 11, I just realized. Mrs. Angry hasn't gone to bed yet. I'm slightly tempted. Oh man, that was fucking nice. I'm slightly tempted to drink another alcoholic beverage. Like an old fashioned. I haven't made an old fashioned tonight. Or I haven't had any of my clarified cocktails, actually. And I have a fucking lot of clarified cocktails there. So I don't know. Option 1. Dip out, leave the stream, go to bed, don't drink anymore. Option 2. Stay on the stream, have one of my clarified cocktails. Option 3. stay on the stream and make an old fashioned. So I don't know what everyone thinks I should do. See, I'm refusing to take responsibility for my own life at the moment because I could do any of those things. I mean, yes, drinking some more booze would help me fall asleep. Richard, you're still hanging around. Ooh, a nog is extremely tempting because the nogs are so fucking good. But also, I don't know if I want to have something like creamy just before bed. I might have some nogs like next stream. Okay, that's quitter talk, Safa. Drinking more water. Yeah, look, okay, you know what? I'm going to hang out. I'm going to hang out for even if Mrs. Angry suddenly messaged me and says she's going to bed. I'm going to put a bit more glass in my ice booze. I'm going to put a bit more ice in my booze glass. I haven't had an old fashioned tonight. I think I want an old fashioned. Maybe with one of my really potent whiskies. Okay. Join me over here. We'll decide which whiskey. I'm going to make an old fashioned. God, I've got a weakness for the old Bakery Hill. It's a pretty strong one. You know what? Bakery Hill Double Wood. It's my favourite. And then I've got cask strength version of this too. So I'll do mostly this. And then I'll do just to kick it in the guts. So the standard double wood's 46%. The Prospector's Drop, which was a very limited edition that I got, aged for 8 years, released at cask strength, 60%. Fuck yeah. Just a little bit to kick it in the guts. Kick it in the guts with some cask strength. Ugh. Now I want just a teeny bit of this very potent sugar syrup of mine. A little bit. Fucking love that stuff so much. A little bit of that, and goes your bitters. Where's my bitters? A little bit of Angostura bitters. Alrighty. Oof. So, this should be a really kick-ass old-fashioned. Let's sit down. No school for me. Not back to work till next week. Oh, fuck yeah. I saw a AIDzee on VHS back in the day, which is to say I have not seen a TAC Force Z since the 80s. Based on a real special forces group in the Australian Army. Probably not the greatest film, but I did enjoy it. Oh man, holy cow! Now, let me mix this up a bit more and take my. What's my assessment of this old fashioned? That's some goddamn serious flavors in there. I mean, yeah, that was like for what I think was a fairly cheaply produced war film. It's pretty well done. Says the trouble. See, Strict Sega, sarcasm doesn't always work in text. We watched a movie which was really good, and I'll remember the name of it in a second. Also, we watched very light-hearted Australian comedy Fisk, which is really good. Oh yeah, I'll strictly say yeah. It had all the Aussie stars in it. Yeah, John Waters, and then Neck Minute. Yeah. Um. Oh, we watched. I was trying to think. We watched a fairly serious and intense movie. It was Maestro, about Leonard Bernstein, with what's his name with a fake big nose playing Leonard Bernstein. Good movie, very good movie. Really highlighting Leonard Bernstein was a complex and quite fucked up person, um, but you know, good movie, worth watching. And so, yeah, Maestro is on Netflix because I think Netflix mainly paid for it to be a thing. But there's a few I want to watch. I got to watch Saltburn sometime soon. Might even watch Saltburn tomorrow. That's on Prime. I'm going to see if I can talk Mrs. Angry into watching Saltburn tomorrow because I have not suffered any serious spoilers for Saltburn, and it looks like just a wild kind of fucked up ride. Oh yeah, no, that plane crash one, the snow, whatever it's called, that seems to be very popular at the moment. But Maestro's good. I recommend Maestro. Um, Bradley Cooper playing Leonard Bernstein. And the whole fake big nose thing, that was a fucking choice. I'm not sure he had to do that. Some people got, and they were only a minority. It certainly wasn't Leonard Bernstein's family because Leonard Bernstein's family defended Bradley Cooper wearing the fake nose. Some people said it was the equivalent of blackface. They called it Jew face. I was like, I don't think he had to have the prosthetic big nose to be Leonard Bernstein. I don't think anyone would have been bothered if it was just his real nose. Leonard Bernstein had a big nose. The real Leonard Bernstein had a big nose. But I don't think Bradley Cooper really had to wear a prosthetic. But, it was a choice. It was a choice that was made. Oh, yeah. Actually, this is... Sorry. My old fashioned is really fucking good. Oh, really intense sort of chocolate, cinnamon, honey flavors in that. I think that's Mrs. Angry saying she's going to bed. Sorry, Strixie, I love you. You're in the same. You're in a worse thing. You've got 500 movies on disc you haven't watched. Knocking off one, two. I probably have more than 100 I haven't watched. My collection's probably actually my overall collection is probably a fifth the size of yours, and so the unwatched pile is probably a fifth the size of your unwatched pile as well. You're up to B doing them alphabetically. I just kind of kept them because I thought at one point I'll be old, retired, and broke and can't pay for all these things. And it's like, you know what? I've got all this physical media I never watched. I'm going to work my way through it in my retirement. Hmm. Yeah, there's no actual chocolate in here, but it's a dark sugar syrup and really nice whiskies and the Angostura bitters. So the dominant flavors are sort of choc, caramel, cinnamon, honey. Just really dark, rich flavors. So, Heine, you maybe have 250 discs. Probably watched 40% of them. You've probably got 3,000. I've probably got. I'm sticking with my 1/5 of what you've got. I've probably got about 500. I haven't counted them in a while. But yes, Mrs. Anger and I were planning on doing a little bit of cleaning up and whatnot. I realized, when we both retire, we're probably just going to move into an apartment with no storage. So I'm probably going to get rid of all the books I have, and also my comic collection, which I've been keeping for uh, just, I don't know, sentimental purposes. If I get to retirement, I'm going to an apartment with no storage space. I'll probably, I don't know, maybe go to a comic shop I know that has secondhand ones and go, do you want to buy this collection? Mainly because I would really like it to go to someone who would appreciate it. Plus, I could probably get a couple $100 at least out of it, which retiring would be a thing. So I do kind of have. I said this to Mrs. Angry. You know what? We've been planning and whatnot. We're getting rid of. When we moved to this house, I got rid of probably 75% of my book collection. As we go through some boxes and stuff, I'm probably going to get rid of at least 50% of what's still there. But I'm keeping my comics. But I fully acknowledge down the line, we retire, maybe living into a little apartment with no storage. I've got myself in the mindset I'm going to give up my whole comic collection, um, and the goal will be a double-barreled thing. One will be it will hopefully go to someone who appreciates it, which would be really nice. Plus, getting a couple $100, maybe more than a couple hundred. Who knows? Because my comic collection is pretty fucking good, honestly. So might make a few pennies out of it, which would be a good thing for a retiree. So, but I did say to Mrs. Angry, I intend to keep the movies and TV shows that I've got on disc, the physical media, because I foresee a future where we don't want to spend money on the streaming services, and for entertainment, it'll be watching discs and borrowing books from the library, basically. I already really like audiobooks, so they don't take up any physical space. So I've already got this all in mind. That's right, I'm planning my retirement because I'm fucking old. It's like 10 years down the line. Every now and then I think about, like, okay, when I was young, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, what did I think about people who are the age I am now? And I thought, oh, they were just unfathomably old, and they were alien creatures. And I look at myself now and go, like, I'm just a guy. I think you're right, strictly Sega. Physical media will go up in price, because the streaming services are trying to cut out physical media and something. So talk to me in Oppenheimer already up in price, yeah. Um, and I think this is maybe going to go in a cycle. I've said this multiple times that I think there's going to be a rationalization of the streaming services. There's too many of them, and it's not viable. I feel like in 5-10 years, we'll have swung back to more physical media and fewer streaming services. But who the fuck knows, quite honestly. I am waiting for Oppenheimer to be free on streaming services. Oh god, okay. Weird films that I've wanted to watch for a while, and I finally watched one, a Nick Cage film from a few years ago called Pig, about some weirdo living a sort of rustic hobo life, and he's got a truffle snorting pig that someone kidnaps. That was a pretty good, if extremely weird film, which is exactly what I thought it would be. And it was, I finally found it on a streaming service for free, and I was like, oh, okay. And I thought, okay, well, another weird one that I'd wanted to watch, which was never service, was a Daniel Radcliffe film from a few years ago called Guns Akimbo. And that's going to be on Netflix later this month. So it's like, cool. Pig, I'd been looking for ages, and you had to pay for it. But then I just stumbled on it's on Netflix. So I watched it, and I did enjoy it. It's not going on my all-time favorite list, but I did enjoy it. Guns Akimbo looks quite silly, so after I watch it, again, might be the same thing. Not on my favorite list, but I finally did it. Um, also, you've got Pigs on your unwatched pile. I think you'll enjoy it. It is quite a well-made film. It's one of the good Nick Cage films because Nick Cage does trash. Pig is interesting, and yes, okay. So you love Guns Akimbo, fun. It looks fun. It looks silly. So it's going to be on Netflix later this month. I think in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So it's like, cool. I've wanted to watch Guns Akimbo without paying extra for it for ages, and now I finally get the chance. But there are actually a whole bunch of films I want to watch. I think another one that's probably going to be free soon is Asteroid City. And there's a few on the different services I want to watch. There's that sci-fi one. I think it's on Prime. The Creator, Humans at War with AI. That looks kind of good. I do want to watch that, but yeah. Oh yeah. Now Nick Cage never says no because he has real money problems because he's a compulsive spender. But he does a bunch of good films and a bunch of trash films. Like I have to admit, I really enjoyed The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where he plays a fictionalized version of himself. And it was extremely funny, where the version of himself he plays in the film is kind of informed by all the social media rumors about him. Very funny. Nick Cage, I don't know, he seems like a cool guy. Safa, I fucking love Con Air. Con Air is an exceptional film. Really do. You didn't love Asteroid City? Okay. Yeah. Wes Anderson's done some stuff I really didn't like. But I'm going to watch Asteroid City when it's free on a streaming service, which is, I think, later this month. Safa, the film I'm talking about is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And it's got Pedro Pascal in it as well. It's really fucking funny. But basically, Nick Cage playing a fictionalized version of himself. Extremely funny. It's just ridiculous. The movie's ridiculous in the best sense of the word. But yeah, he does some other fucking weird ones like Mandy and Pig, and these are really quite well made films that are also extremely weird. But Jesus, he made some shitty ones too. Anyway, I think I'm going to go to bed. It's like 10:30. So again, I keep getting double cherries, which all signs point to 2024 being a year of bounty. Because I keep getting double cherries. And I feel like I can only read that as a positive sign. Fucking yum. Let's see, Safra, I don't know what I'm watching. We might watch some more Fisk, which is an Australian comedy, which is very silly. It's very whimsical and silly. And watched a few episodes the other night, enjoyed it. I talked Mrs. Angry into watching another movie, maybe The Creator. because we both love sci-fi. Maybe something else. We'll see. Mm. Oh, fuck, those cherries are so yummy. Probably see me Thursday, unless with kind of no warning, it ends up being the night I have takeaway with the offspring. But who knows? Yes. Oh my god. Again, I'm so old where internet used to be so expensive. But it's a whole thing. So you'll take care, you fine and funky people. I hope to see you again sometime soon. Oh, you just finished Loki. I did enjoy Loki season 2. Mrs. Angry didn't watch that. She's kind of got bored with watching both Marvel and. Oh no, she did watch Ahsoka with me because she wanted to see the Girl Jedi. Oh, dude, fucking watch The Last of Us. I want to rewatch Last of Us. That show was fucking intense. Also, strictly saying, I cannot recommend this highly enough. The Last of Us podcast, which is the official Last of Us podcast, which is like people who made it. Watch an episode of The Last of Us, then listen to the podcast about that episode. It's fucking incredible. Basically, the central thesis of The Last of Us is people do amazing and terrible things for love. Everything that happens in that show, people do it for love. Both the good and the terrible things people do, they do it for love. And it's fucking astonishing. But I cannot recommend highly enough watch an episode of The Last of Us, then listen to the podcast about that episode. Because it's the people who made the show and they talk about the decisions they made and why they made the decisions. It adds so much depth to the show. It's fucking incredible. So that's my hot tip. I might rewatch The Last of Us. But yeah, fucking go for it. So you fine and funky people, please take care of yourself. I do hope to see you again sometime soon. Oh no, it's an audio podcast. Just look it up on a podcast thing. It's the official one. It's the HBO Last of Us podcast. Also, the same guy who basically is a showrunner for The Last of Us, was the showrunner for the Chernobyl miniseries, and he did a podcast for that, which was just as good. Each episode of the podcast is an in-depth analysis of each episode of the miniseries. And yes, Richard, Last of Us is a video game. I got Last of Us Part 2 for Mrs. Angry for Christmas. Should do it. So yes, but that's my hot tip. If you're watching The Last of Us, watch an episode, then listen to the podcast for that episode. It adds so much depth. It's fucking incredible. And you find out all these little things about where people from the video game were working on the TV show, and because the video game maker and the showrunner were working together, and the decisions they made, I can't recommend it highly enough. Do it. But I'm going to go to bed now. That kept me raving for another 5 minutes. But I'm going to go to bed now. So you all take care. Hope to see you.